rolling. This is a sync clap. Yeah. Take it away, Jedi.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Living After Bathtime podcast. This is episode number 3. We're coming at you from Van Coke Studios in the heart of Greenpoint. And we're super excited for our guest this evening. He's a fantastic musician. And he's arguably the nicest guy in the music industry. He is the legend Majozi. We'll get him on a little bit later. But in the meantime, my partner in crime, my old school bud that never did drugs. He's a funny man from the Jewish land, Mr. Stanley Ziv. And our captain on the sound, can't forget him. He's the head producer here at Van Coke Studios. Actually, the only producer here at Van Coke Studios. He's the only one out of the two of us that didn't get his diploma at Cape Audio College, despite attending. He's the wannabe half Jew, and he's oh so shrewd. Richard Onret. How are you, Richie?
How's it, bros?
Stan, what's happening, man?
No, lots happening, Jed. It's been a while since our last episode. There's a lot to catch up on.
Definitely. I think it was about 6 months ago.
Give or take, but who's counting? Yeah, you were away at World Series.
That's right.
Richie was on honeymoon, and you've got other news for us, Jedi.
Yes, I'm having another kid, believe it or not.
Yeah, so
number 3.
The third podcast episode, a lot more difficult to conceive than the third child, apparently.
Well, when your band members start calling you Sperm Boy, then you realize that.
So, due when? Like, imminently?
Yeah, end of Feb, so 6 weeks or so to go.
Is your phone on silent?
But as I say, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
What's the difference? 2, 3.
But at this point, I mean, you can't be leaving your phone on silent anymore, Jed.
My phone's always on silent.
Oh, gosh. Could be anything.
What do you think? If there's emergencies and stuff, I need to be...
Yeah,
I think now's about the time that comes into play, right?
Emergencies.
Yeah.
Rocky smashed Emily's head in. And you, how's your family?
Family's all good, bro.
Richie, how's married life?
I can't complain, bro. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary already.
Fantastic.
Gone very quickly.
Fantastic. So you still love each other and everything?
Yeah,
like
for
that?
now.
Okay.
Well, our guest is recently married. Maybe we'll chat a little bit about that. So.
Majozi did just get married. About also, I think, similar time to you, Rich. Maybe about a year ago.
Yeah.
They were on a holiday recently. I saw some pics. So maybe even.
Yeah,
I guess we'll find out.
We'll ask him about
I must just say, this is unbelievable because we've actually shuffled the time that we shoot this podcast. And sorry, folks, we were lying to you. We were actually. The whole time that we were missing bar time, we had done bar time and then got into the studio. And now we're actually skip bar time to be here.
Yes.
So we're actually shooting this when we should have been bathing our kids.
Oh, smashed the whole illusion, yeah, Jed.
The whole 300 people. So something we've been talking about, but I don't know the whole story about it, but it's time that you tell us about what you're feeling about Imagine Dragons and the concert, because you walked into the studio and you didn't look very stoked about the whole situation.
So Imagine Dragons are playing here in Cape Town soon, in a couple of weeks. 1st of February is the date of the concert.
First of all, are you a fan or are you...
To be honest, I don't really know them very well.
Are your kids fans that you have some involvement in?
No. Please.
You mean you train them better than that?
Yeah, you know.
Chas v'shalom.
Yeah, chas v'shalom.
Steely Dan, Beatles.
A little T-Rex, a bit of the Clash.
Fun Lizzy.
Touch of the Darkness.
No, I know he's got a great YouTube channel, Justin.
Maybe we'll chat about that some other time.
That is very good
because he needs us to punt him.
Definitely,
because
fantastic.
He's not doing so well. But maybe if we give him the bump,
the real bump he needs.
But but the Imagine Dragon thing. I mean, the band. Listen, we're having Majozi on later, who you say is, he's the most positive person. He's just like a ray of sunshine.
He is. He's super, and we were good friends with him. Our band, Francois Van Coke, he's a fantastic guy.
I, on the other hand, as we all know, am the world's most cantankerous man. Okay, it'll be interesting later when we talk to him.
Okay. You have strong opinions.
I have strong opinions, and I like to have a rant.
But give us a bit of a rant.
But let me say this about the Imagine Dragons concert. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the band, but like I said, I don't really know a lot of their music, so it's hard for me to judge. But I think I think having a go at the band per se, that is low-hanging fruit for the world's most cantankerous man. I think, to go, these modern bands, blah, 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 blah. I like to have a rant.
It's something worth ranting about.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not even worthy of your rant.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, Jared.
Okay.
Now that we've built it up this much, it's better be a good rant. But no, so my brother was looking to get tickets for his nephews.
Is the show at the stadium?
Shows at the stadium,
Okay.
at the Cape Town Stadium.
I know nothing.
You learn English from a book.
From a book. I'm from Barcelona.
So anyway, so he sends me this message the one day. He was online looking for tickets, and he just, I guess, was curious. And they have this like ultra mega super VIP experience. So he went on there to look and see the ticket price and see like what was on offer and all that. So it's about 10,000 rand, which is like 600
10,000 rand for this whole experience.
For the whole experience.
VIP experience.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, which I mean, I don't know if $600 is a lot or a little for a concert
why
in the
are you
US.
equating it into dollars?
No, I'm just trying to
that's where they perform mostly.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you were watching this and you didn't know how much 10,000 rand was,
Okay,
we've got a big international following.
So for the international following,
for the international following,
$600 is about 10 grand. Okay.
But for South Africans, like 10,000 rand is like a significant
10,000 rand might be a lot more money than what $600 is to someone.
It could be. Yeah. But be that as it may. So, like, fine, what does like 10 grand get you? And when I was reading, which Richie's going to help me with just now, like what was actually in the package, even if it was a band that I liked, I don't know if I would go in for it. And what bothers me is like, and we'll get into it in a second, like what's become of the average sort of music consumer nowadays. Like I've always said in the beginning, like when we were talking about the Ginger Menace, I said I didn't have an issue with like Ed Sheeran. He's just trying to like make a living.
Sorry, it's the you were talking about for a second.
Well, it's the people that are like into that and putting mediocrity on a pedestal. So Richie, tell the people, what does 10,000 of your hard-earned South African rand get you for the ultra super mega whoopla supercalifragilisticexpialidocious VIP experience that Imagine
Well, to be fair, it's 10,220 rand. Okay, just 220 is just even extra there.
What it gets you? $610.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, what read it nice and slow. Let's see.
General admission, front zone standing ticket with early entry is point one.
All right. So
general admission.
Yeah.
So not even. Is there a golden circle?
Well, it's front zone standing.
It's front zone standing.
Okay.
But and I mean,
sorry, I'm showing my age here. We come from the golden circle age, which is bullshit. There shouldn't be such a thing.
Yeah. But also, like, if you have to come early, how good are the seats? So there's number one. Like, like your front zone. Like, there should be, if you're going for the ultra experience, you should have like a little section. Like you shouldn't have to come early. Carry on, Richie.
We've got admission to the exclusive VIP-only viewing riser with open beer and cider bar drink service throughout the night.
Okay. So you can have all you can drink beer and cider.
Oh, that's free.
Yes. But if you are willing to pay this amount of money for Imagine Dragons, there are two possibilities. You are not old enough to drink.
Yeah.
Or you're taking your child and you're the designated driver. You can't drink that much anyway. But let's just say hypothetically, okay, that you were drinking. How much beer and cider are you possibly going to drink? I mean, also
I'm
cost
a
prices.
2 beer man at a gig because you're going to be pissing the whole time. I'm not going to watch any of the show.
What, like 200, maybe 300 rands worth of beer?
At the most.
At the most.
I'm kind of bring my whiskey in a hip flask.
10 grand, mind you, 10 grand.
At a show.
Oh, sorry. I should also just point out before we go much further.
But there's still more to come, right?
There's more to come, but some of the proceeds are going to a charity, which I think is very worthy. And I'm not saying, like, if you are so inclined, go off and support the charity, like, by all means. Like, I get that. But there's a lot of stuff in there that I question. Carry on, Richie.
All right, then we've got a limited edition Mercury Tour poster signed by all members of the band.
Ooh, a signed poster, Jed. A signed poster. Come on, what's that? Like, what are we in for? Another $200? Okay.
Signed. That's pretty cool.
I mean,
but like, what is it worth? Like, let's break it down for a second. If you got something signed, but like someone who like what makes a signature valuable, right?
Okay,
So-
yeah.
so
I'm
I-
just playing devil's advocate here because I still want to hear what more to come is, but I'm just trying to think if
I'm
this
just
was
trying to
my
justify the price
favorite
ticket.
band,
If your favorite band,
what I would be feeling right now, and I think I'd be excited if it was my favorite band.
okay, so
But let's carry on.
well, let's go. So what makes what makes it valuable? So first of all, like the better the artist, I would imagine the more valuable the signature. So like you say, if it was Metallica and you got a signed poster from Metallica, it's Imagine Dragons. Let's all keep our hats on.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, like,
This whole deal
signature-
sounds radioactive. Sorry.
thank you. Jay.
God.
That's my one dad joke for the podcast.
Very good,
okay?
and it's the one song that I know. But also, like, how difficult it is to get the signature, all right, or what
Yes.
makes it special, like, adds a certain value, right?
Okay.
So if they're just giving the stuff away, it's not like you.
Yeah, it's not like you
it's not
got it
like
at a
you were
meet and
hunting
greet
outside, like their hotel room, and they never give signatures, and then you got them to autograph something, or it was like a really special thing. I don't know. It was like, I don't know, Dimebag Daryl autographing the flyer for the gig that he got shot at or something. He's not signing anything else after
Okay,
that.
I get your point.
So I mean, they're
It's
mass producing.
mass-produced
Yeah, it's like
signature,
okay.
pass it
So
along.
in terms of like street value, I'll be gracious and say another
500,
200 to 300, 500.
Let's
okay.
call it 500.
Okay.
A monkey, as we say in the gambling.
monkey,
scene.
all right.
A monkey.
I wouldn't pay a monkey for it, but carry on, Richie. What else we got there?
After that, we've got first access to the custom Imagine Dragons augmented reality photo experience with ability for social sharing.
Okay, that is the one that grinds my gears the most. So let's
I
come
don't
back
even
to that.
understand. Sorry, what,
Yes.
what language
It's
was
written
this?
in English, but
What language was this?
we'll come back to that one, Richie, because that really is just...
That's
is
the
thing.
long rant.
That's the long rant.
English,
about
okay.
where
Barbara.
we've gone so wrong.
All right.
But please, carry on.
Okay, the
I
last
learned it from a book.
the last one for me is terrible, but we've got exclusive merchandise gift. Cool.
Which could be anything.
Exactly.
Okay, it might be very nice. Let's give them credit where it's due, and we'll just give them the most generous interpretation of that vague statement. Exclusive merchandise gift. Carry on.
The last one really grates my gears. Early merchandise shopping opportunity.
There you go. So
Early
give us
merchandise-
more of your money.
An
You
early
formed out.
merchandise shopping opportunity sounds like me waiting at the Woolies at 5 to 9 at the waterfront to do my house husband shopping duties. Early
Exactly.
merchandise.
So it's like
Shopping
you,
opportunity.
You've given us 10 grand.
Exactly.
I'll get
Now you have an opportunity to give us more of your money. All right. So read it slowly for the other people like us at home who are very old and out of the loop. That
can't
one
read.
with the augmented reality.
All right, so we've got first access to the custom Imagine Dragons augmented reality photo experience with ability for social sharing.
Okay. So in all of this, Jed, you are paying all this money. You are the super duper VIP, and you don't even get a sniff of like the band. Not even real people. Not even like 5 minutes. Not even a handshake backstage. Nothing. Okay, you get some augmented reality experience.
Augmented's a weird.
No, but it's like, but I
Yeah.
know people that do this. I know people that like Photoshop pictures of themselves with celebrities, and will
Yeah.
post it. Like even though they've never met that person, just like
When you say it like this, now I'm not. I'm on your side. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I know.
I'm on your team. But when you say it like, hang on, 10 grand, and I don't even get to kind of meet the band, or get my poster signed by the band, it sounds insane.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do.
But
you know what I mean? For my 10 grand, I want some interaction with the band.
you would think so.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, and I mean obviously they're selling these things. I would imagine. I'm sure they're quite popular. I mean people are buying them.
How do we know though? What do we know about how many? Of
Well, I
these
don't
have
think
been
they'd be
sold?
doing it if it wasn't a thing. Look, I don't know. Maybe other bands are doing this kind of thing. Like I said, we're out of that loop. We're old
Yeah,
timers.
yeah.
But like the
We get the
augment,
seated.
but the augmented reality thing, I'll tell you like why it bothers me so much. It's kind of like it's like the striptease of music fandom. So you could apply yourself, and get a girl to like you for real, okay, maybe at a fraction of the cost or for no money. Or you could go to a strip club and pay through the nose to have like a fake experience of someone being into you. And this is exactly what has happened. So like I could, like used to do in our day, like go camp out early, like a Springsteen show, and he's famous for like bringing people into that Golden Circle exclusive area if they've gone and put in the effort to go camp out early, or like we said, stake them out at the hotel or the airport, try get a signature or something. You could like have a real experience that could cost you nothing, or you can have a fake augmented reality experience and pay 10 grand. So that's why this isn't about Imagine Dragons. It's about the average music consumer nowadays and how like warped their priorities are, and just their sense of like how they appreciate the whole music experience. And I just think it's just like, it's sad.
It is quite sad. And you know what? It made me think when we started talking about this whole thing. On Sunday night, I have a guy I follow on Twitch. He's a poker streamer. And this was his words. Someone in the chat, so he always reads out while he's playing poker. He's got his screen, and his name's Ben CB. He's like one of the top online players in the world. And maybe we'll have him on one day. Anyways, he's got his screen up there, and someone was complaining about the music because he plays music, but he literally plays, whatever from dance to sometimes Beatles to pop. Someone was complaining about the music, and he was like, these were his words, like, are you fucking serious? This is 2023 and you're complaining about the music. And it just made me think that what music means to people in 2023 is way different to what it meant to us or to someone growing up in the 80s.
It's like there's that classic line in High Fidelity where he says, I just want something I can ignore.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll have another rant about like all this like AI that people are talking about, and like, will music be made by AI and all that kind of stuff. I haven't got an interesting take on it yet, but we'll leave it for another episode.
No, because there's that new app, Richard, that's just come out.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Tell us about it.
Oh, save it for another episode, Jed. Or do you want to get into it now?
No, I just want to know what your feelings are.
I want to get home before they turn the lights off.
I mean, I'll tell you the following about ChatGPT.
Tell us, Richie.
I do a lot of work online with a site called Fiverr. Sometimes people ask me to do lyric writing for them, and the guy came to me the other day asking me to do a sort of parody on Ghostbusters. And I thought to myself, he wants a parody about real estate going into Ghostbusters, and I could really sit and work this out. Or I can type in the exact question that I want, try and get some lyrics relatively well generated, and it works. I asked him straight out. I was like, "Write me a parody on Ghostbusters." I hope he's not
watching this, Rich. He might ask.
I mean, I don't think he knows exactly who I am.
You mean he might be one of the 300 listeners?
I think
that's a shot in the dark.
335. No, one of the, okay.
Anyway, it came out with brilliant lyrics that made a lot of sense, and it was a nice sort of way to start whatever I needed to write. They made sense at the end of it.
I am actually.
What do you feel about it?
I'm over the moon about it. And I will tell you why, Jeff.
This is interesting. I would have thought you have a lot negative to say about this.
The world's most cantankerous man is actually down with the tech.
So this isn't a Stan rant. This is a Stan praise.
No. It's a backhanded rant.
Oh, there had to be a catch.
I will not let people off that lightly.
There had to be a catch.
No, I'll tell you why. Because, you've got to, go in generating lyrics, or eventually we'll get to the stage of music and other things if it isn't already, in a style of someone. So everything is like a pastiche, so there won't be anything really original, right? So
in the future, in general, anyways.
No, not nothing. I'm just saying generated by these AI things, right? Because you've got to give them reference points.
Yes.
Whereas other musicians, yes, they've got influences and things, but it's that creativity of what they went and did with it. So, for example, think of the Beatles, right? Beatles are great. Those early albums were great, but those sort of R&B covers or Carl Perkins numbers, as nice as they were, you can't compare them to what they were doing on Revolver with Eleanor Rigby or Tomorrow Never Knows and that kind of stuff.
Rock and roll music and who was the other covers they did? Kansas City.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know, even Twist and Shout, which is great. And maybe AI will get to that level. But what made the Beatles as unbelievable what they were and their everlasting legacy was from the later stuff. I mean, if they hadn't made those albums, I don't know if they'd be held in the same sort of esteem. And you'll get... this is the thing. Nowadays, pop music is so formulaic, right? All the stuff is being done to these different algorithms and all that kind of stuff. So these AIs are just going to replace people like, Max Martin or an Ed Sheeran or these kind of things, right? The people who are just trying to like do that sort of pop by numbers thing, which is great. So they'll be out of the job, but they'll never be able to take the place of a Kurt Cobain, a Joe Strummer, a David Bowie. So, but what it'll also
argue
do
that Max Martin shouldn't be put in that same formulaic algorithm completely.
I disagree with that. Because
Thank you,
essentially,
Richie. Thanks for being the tiebreaker.
Max would essentially be a couple of years ago where he was at his prime. And this is before the generation of AI or whatever. I mean, it was obviously in the making, but he definitely did deserve his spot. He rewrote the pop rulebook, ultimately.
I totally get that. But what he did is everyone was now cottoning onto that rulebook.
Yeah, but that means he was a pioneer.
I'm not saying don't give him like the credit where credit's due, but all the people like in that vein who want to like
be replaced by the
who want to. It's not like when Full Spectre.
So you actually positive about this situation because you're saying that even with this AI, we can never hold back people like the Beatles or Kurt Cobain. They'll always find their way. Yeah.
But what it'll do again, if we're coming back to sort of a more political, philosophical view of the music fan, is those people who, like we said, just want something to ignore, will no longer be able to hide behind the people, that we've mentioned that are the sort of generic pop kind of like twee nonsense, right? They're going to have to admit that I don't mind listening to something that was like written by AI that a robot came up with and has no real soul or whatever. It's very nicely constructed, but it's got no character, right? A bit. Sounds wrong. I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a bit like a Volkswagen, right? They are very well constructed, well built. They're very popular, but there's no real character. Like there's nothing wrong with them, but that's what's wrong with them. And sometimes like you get like an old Datsun or something that like breaks down now and then, but like it's got a bit of character.
Who makes BMW? No, I'm saying is it Volkswagen? Yeah, there was that old joke. What does BMW stand for? Bring mechanic with.
Okay,
carry on.
But what I'm saying is like, there'll be nowhere for them to hide really, and we'll have a clear separation of people who want not just music but art in general to like mean more, and to like have more in their life and like touch them on a soul level, and on those who just want to consume.
Yeah, it's almost like the poker streamer. I'm not uncertain on his view of music, but what I gathered from his statement there was like when he said, "This is fucking 2023. Who gives a fuck?" was kind of meant to me like it's kind of cool to not give a fuck about something that is soulful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
which is interesting to me.
I get it that there's also sometimes there's a time where it's cool not to be like in your different camps, and sometimes, especially like, if you grew up in the 80s and you were like into like metal and stuff and like hard rock, you couldn't really also be into the new romantics because it wouldn't fit, But like if you grew up 20 years later, you could listen to Metallica and Spandau Ballet like quite comfortably because you didn't get involved in the politics of it. So maybe that's what he means by like you should just listen to anything, which I get, and you should be open-minded, but sometimes things are just crap.
Yeah, but again, I guess that's what he was saying more. Was
maybe.
Like,
but like I'm saying,
that's a better take.
With the way that AI is going, and this could be true of anything, movies, whatever. An AI could probably come up with like a Marvel movie, like easy. But I don't think an AI is doing Pulp Fiction in a hurry.
Yes, there's no Tarantino there. Yeah.
And I think people, and it might be a growing minority, or it might be like a majority. There might be a backlash at some stage. I think the culture kind of always shifts, and we've spoken about this. Like things like Fleetwood Mac's Rumors or Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. These were not like on the fringes of of pop culture. These were massive albums that, for whatever was going on in the early 70s, that's what the masses were actually into, and it was cool, and we've got a bit of an inversion of that nowadays. But like, I think there will always be people who will hunger for things that, like art that really touches them and takes them to a special place. I think things that are just done for algorithms or for like fitting.
There'll be a place for it.
People aren't going to be touched that way. I think I have more faith in humanity and the balance between soul and art.
The positive in this situation because I was thinking you were gonna just.
I'm surprised.
Right,
He was gonna go
full of
all.
surprises.
He was gonna go all canstankerous.
Stanker or that. Okay, another dad joke from the left.
Not a dad yet.
All right, should we bring on?
Let's
shall we
bring on
the
our
guest?
guest.
Talking about music, talking about AI. Not that it's got anything to do with AI.
Let's chat to Majozi about it.
Let's bring him up.
Let's bring him on.
Okay.
I want to welcome to the podcast. He is the legend, the nicest guy in the South African music industry, Majozi. How you did?
Yo, something that I want Jed to play as well.
Okay, yeah, let's hear. Dude, what is that band called? He's the cool looking dude who plays the sick guitar stuff.
Polyphia, I keep sending you
Polyphia.
videos so you can learn the songs, so you can teach me slower, but then you just say, okay, and then you never learn the videos.
Okay, dude, can I just tell you the
podcast thing you have to learn now.
Can I just tell you the reason why I haven't learned how to play that? 2 kids. You want to be
And one on the way.
It's really they're this new band, but they do this really kind of technical guitar stuff. So he always sends it to me. He's like, "Okay, you got to play this," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm too old. Don't practice anymore. Don't think I could have played it in the first place."
Well, it's because if you can play it, if someone around me who is physically around me can play those type of riffs, it seems a whole lot more attainable. Probably not really. I mean, you're a shredder of note, but it's like, okay, Jed is an actual human being that I've touched. You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to, if I practice enough, I'll be able to play.
I appreciate that you've sent that to me and thought that I could do it. That's what I appreciate about the whole thing.
I just want to know how often Majozi touches Jed.
Dude, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're super stoked.
I think we just got to tell people a little bit about what happened. So, Majozi was actually going to be our first in-studio guest, and we were very excited. But he is not feeling well. He's ill. He's under the weather. But he's such a trooper and a champion that he's kind of still come on the show.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I would be in bed.
Yeah,
but we really appreciate you.
I said I introed you on the show. I said you're the nicest guy in the South African music industry, and I meant it. And we appreciate you being here. So we're gonna change things up a little bit this podcast because we're gonna give you our
we've got our high five here on Living After Bathtime. So it's 5 questions we ask all the guests. It normally comes at the end of the interview. We're just gonna bring it up to the top. In case the flu takes hold and you pass out halfway through. So we'll just get it out nice and early. Okay. There it is. So first question, and I think we might already know the answer, but what are you listening to at the moment?
That's hilarious. What am I listening to? Do you guys know Jack Garrett? I listen to a lot of Jack Garrett. That's pretty much all I listen to.
Richie's hand has gone up.
Richie's hand's in the air.
Prouder than a honeymooner's John Thomas, let me tell you.
I'm gonna go check him out as soon as this is finished.
What's
Jack
his
Garrett.
vibe? I don't know him. What's his vibe, Majozi?
Phew. It's how do you describe his vibe? It's
kind of like alternative pop, if you could put it that way.
Between kind of like a bluesy type of dancey type of melodic folk indie music. I don't know what you call his music, but he actually just released a dance song now. And he's he goes in between things. He's very fluid with that type of stuff. Just imagine Mumford of Sons, but Diplo.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll check that out.
I understand. I don't know if that's your cup of tea, but you're going to give it a try.
I'm willing to check it out.
Stan's kind of a very old Beatles.
I thought you were just going to end there, just very
old. Yeah,
and just cut it. Well, the last recommendation
we're the same age, bro. We're both old.
Yeah, but you look better. The last recommendation you and Richie gave me, I was a little nonplussed.
What did we give you?
It was the Sam Fender.
Yeah.
What do you think of Sam Fender, Majozi?
I love Sam Fender.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
He's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I think we already have the war on drugs. Doing that sort of vibe and a little bit of that early Springsteen kind of influence. So we got one. Do we need another? I don't know. I'm not I'll put it to you this way with Sam Fender. If that came on the commercial radio, I would be a lot happier than a lot of the other stuff that's out there. Like, you know, and I wouldn't have to like grit my teeth
That's a
as I'm
start
driving.
for Stan, because he is.
I'm the
He's
world's
tough to please. He's
the
tough to
world's
please,
most
Majozi. Let's just
cantankerous
say.
man.
Can
The man's
Stanker
he's got his taste, you
He's
know.
got
There's
his
nothing
taste,
wrong with
bro.
that, you know. Like not everyone has to like Sam Fender.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but no, but
I
not-
can dig. I can dig it. Don't get me wrong. I can dig it, but it's not going to be
dislike it.
something I.
I don't dislike it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that's good.
second question. What is the last thing you watched and enjoyed?
Well, the last thing I watched and enjoyed, jeez, I watched I watched a documentary about the rise of fashion from the 80s up until now.
That's cool.
About
Where was that?
how-
Where was that on?
Oh, what was it on? I think it was on Showmax. It was about how all like I don't know the 4 big fashion designers all at that time were basically discovered by. I have a wife now, so I watch.
Yes, we want to talk about. We
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
talk
we'll
about
get
that.
into
We'll
that,
get
my
into
friend.
that. This is
But
this
it
podcast
was
is a little bit
interesting
about
because,
kids
like,
and wives
the
and
richest man in the world is Bernard Arnault, and he owns all those top brands like Gucci and LVMH and whatever. And it shows you like the relationship he had with the fashion designers that were his, and that lady Anna Wintour, who is the editor of Vogue, how she suggested it was very interesting, like to see like how those fashion houses came from being family owned to being owned by this wealthy man who wasn't in any ways involved with fashion, and eventually that guy becomes the richest man in the world. And I was like, oh, that's quite crazy. It was really interesting.
sounds good.
So
Definitely.
if we need something to watch with the missus that's like still watchable, that's got your stamp of approval.
Well, I'm busy.
100%.
I'm busy sitting through Gossip Girl. I don't know how you feel about that. And
I
let me
tell
tell you
The
something.
new iteration.
I've never
the
watched.
new Gossip Girl, not
I've
the
never
original,
watched-
not the Chuck Bass original Gossip Girl, the new Gossip
Can
Girl.
I tell you? I've never watched. This is I'll never have I ever moment. I've never watched a single episode of Gossip Girl.
And you are better
Same.
for it.
Same.
So you're better for it. Yeah.
I mean, are we missing out, shit?
No, you are not missing out. It's pretty hectic to just sit through it. Go
Okay.
with Stan.
Third question. Guilty pleasures.
Guilty pleasures. Sure. There's a Food Lovers down the road from me, and they have these delicious custard donut filled things that are just really hard to walk past, like super hard.
What?
Once you've had one, you know how good it tastes, and you're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be having this. You know, I've got things to do. I've got to look a certain way. And 9 times out of 10, I'm having that donut.
One thing I can say, just being on tour, knowing Majozi, is that he is a sucker for a sweet thing. Eh? We know.
Yo, I've got a very bad sweet tooth.
He's got a
It's
sweet
fine
tooth.
if I don't have any sweet things. It's fine. But if I have one sweet things, then the floodgates are open, and
So
then
you-
I'm done.
So you're all or nothing. You're either off it or you full on the sweet thing.
You're not.
Yeah,
You're not
100%.
closing
like right
the
now, I'm
bag.
doing a cleanse and I'm off it, and it's like it's fine. You know,
Okay.
cool, no worries.
Can I ask you though, while you just out of interest, while you off it, does that mean no sugar, or are you allowed certain things in?
Now I'm doing a cleanse, so like there's no sugar at all,
No sugar
no
at all.
salt, like
No salt.
no salt, no flipping olive oil. Just my best friend is lemon juice at the moment.
Okay, wow.
What brought that on? Just like New Year or?
We've
Something-
done it before, and it felt good after we did it and stuff. So I was
Majozi,
we're gonna do it again.
you can tell you're
once
newly
we have some
married,
time.
my man. Just like referring to yourself in the we. Like we know whose idea this cleanse was, my friend. It's all right.
because come on, what single man is doing this by
Yeah,
himself?
we're just
Who?
which single man is like cleanse? We're eating shit on the couch. Hey, Rocky, go fetch me another beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no way. Who is doing that? Come on.
But it's beautiful, man. That's great. That's good. Well, you're looking good. I mean, I know you're feeling a little bit under the weather, but you're looking good.
Oh, well, lighting.
Must be the cleanse. Must be the cleanse. You know, a few of those custard donuts, and you'd have been laid out for weeks.
100%.
Next question. Question number 4 is: who do you think in your industry deserves more credit? Like not someone necessarily unknown, but just someone who should get a lot more credit than they get. More airtime.
A lot more credit than they get. That's a very, very good one. I
Thank
think
you.
in general, I think I'll say this first. I think everybody needs more credit than they get. I
Told
think
you he's the
The
nicest guy
world's
in
like
the music
this ray of
industry.
sunshine.
Yeah.
yeah, I will say somebody, but I think it's like guys work hard and they've done some really great things, and just the way the industry is set up here, sometimes that always doesn't get appreciated as much as it should, especially nowadays. If I had to say one individual, I would say I think I have to say my mate, Jethro Tate. Uh, Wonderful pop writer, pop artist. He's got, like, some great songs and, on the radio that people will know. He's worked with other artists, he's worked with me, and I think he's super underappreciated at the moment, but hopefully that gets better.
Yeah, I've heard that name a couple of times from our mutual friend and producer Dolph, who I know he's worked
Yeah.
with Dolph and a lot of our bass player from the Gevaar and a lot of artists he's written for. Hey,
Yes, 100%, man. He's definitely underappreciated. He just got engaged now, so, I mean, yeah, give him some more appreciation, people.
and he's gonna be underappreciated soon. Give him a few years.
But as Jethro, very nice, Jed. You gotta go.
My
As
wife
Jeth-
might not let me in the door.
she
after
doesn't
this
watch the
interview.
show. It's okay. She doesn't watch the show. Believe me.
My wife definitely does. She'll watch. She loves my wife loves Majozi. She will definitely be watching this episode.
Well, I don't know, bro.
She's a big
Third kid
fan,
on the way,
bro.
like you said.
Yeah. But has Jethro got like his own solo stuff that people can check out, or is it like mostly for other people?
100%, yep. Jethro Tate, he's got his own solo stuff. He just released a collaboration with a DJ called, I think it's Da Capo. The song's called Better, but he's got some beautiful solo stuff, man. Very chilled stuff, like thoughtful stuff. He's got a gift of the gab when it comes to songwriting.
All right, go check it out, people. And then the last question. So the other guests we've had on, they've also got kids. This isn't necessarily a thing that you have to be a dad to answer, but it's about like the best fatherly advice that you've ever given or
Dad
received.
advice.
Dad advice. So like maybe if you're thinking about having kids, maybe it's something you'd want to like impart like on your kids when they
Can we
eventually arrive.
can we
God
break
willing.
for a moment and just find out are kids in your future having kids?
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully, I mean, I love kids, dude. I think we would love to have some kids.
Beware.
You know, bro, I'm always commenting on your
I know
pictures.
that,
like,
I know
every
that.
day.
Jedi,
Every
Majozi's
day.
newly married,
Your
my
wife
friend.
must think like, what's wrong with this guy? I love kids so much.
But you're newly married.
I
I'm sure
think-
you're trying for kids in every room in the house. Like,
No, not yet, dude. No, not yet, no.
He's a bit under the weather. Give him some time to recover.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I still
so
want some
dad
more.
advice. Have you got a piece of pearl of wisdom that you would
I do.
share with us?
I think the thing of them being enough. Like, so I would say that, you are enough, I think people strive to be something else, or to be more all the time, or be something that they think that people want them to be, and I think there's like a power in knowing that the way you're presented now in this moment, wherever you are, that's enough, and when you have that confidence, you don't get swayed by people's opinions, or what's going on around you. If you're like centered and knowing that you're enough, then I think you can do a lot in life. I think that's what stops a lot of people from doing what they want to do, thinking, am I good enough? I mean, it stops me from learning those songs that I want
Dude,
old
you
Jed
can do
to
it,
play.
man.
It's like, I don't know if I'm good enough, but I think it's like, if you come from that place within knowing that you are enough, you can do whatever you want to do. So I think that's definitely one of the things I'll say.
That's
Well,
beautiful,
that's
man.
amazing.
I think that's amazing.
Is there like a moment or a series of events that kind of solidify that for you when you said, okay, like I know I'm enough and now like I'm strong enough to like go on and take on the world kind of thing?
I think it's still an ongoing thing, man. Like, I think I've spent most of my life feeling like I wasn't like that, and I like believe in God and Jesus, and I think that's helped me in my journey of figuring that out, and figuring out who I am, and figuring out that that person is enough, and like, I mean, I forget a lot of times, but I think when I remember that's like my happiest place. That's when I'm better for myself. I'm better for the people around me. You just eventually get to realize that like there's so many things we do that just doesn't even matter, you know, and especially when those things are taking away your attention and making you sad or making you angry, and you just feel overwhelmed in all of these emotions. And then you just take a step back and you're like, wait a minute, this thing actually doesn't matter in the long term. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I try and approach my life. But like I said, it's an ongoing journey. Just keep reminding myself, trying to get better, all that kind of stuff.
That's amazing, man. So this is really beautiful. And you make a point. Like I sometimes have to think, you know, if I worry about things in the past or things in the future, that all we actually really have is the right here and right now, and just try and be as good a person in that current moment and not worry too much about what people expect.
100%, dude. As long as you're trying your best in the moment and you're thoughtful and kind to other people at the same time and kind to yourself, then I mean, you know, what else is there?
What else is there? I totally agree, man. That's really beautiful.
That is beautiful. But, like I did say to Jed, I said, you know, anything like I've seen or read about Majozi just seems like always super like positive and everything's on the up, you know, but there must be something that like just like really grinds his gears, you know, like somebody just wants to like let loose about.
We want to know.
Yeah. I think the people need to know.
What grinds my gears? You know what grinds my gears now, guys? Is
being asked that question.
is is the load shedding situation. No, so for me personally, we don't get load shedding here where we live.
Don't say anything. They will shut you down.
For you.
Anyway.
I had that for like a good run for like a few months, and someone must have said something because my area just got shut down.
So like for me, I don't experience it until I leave the house, and when I leave the house, it's like I'll give like a few small examples. Like I'll leave the house and I'm going to gym early in the morning, and I get to gym and there's no electricity, but which means the coffee shop there can't operate.
Can't make your coffee, yeah.
So the coffee shop's best times are early in the morning and then in the afternoon, but both those times the electricity goes off. So, you know, there's a small business that's suffering. Like I make like these shirts and stuff with these embroiderers, and it's the same with them. Like in Woodstock, like they have to work super hard to try and get through all the orders they have, because there's so much load shedding in the day and they only work a few hours a day, and there's such a backlog, and it's like another small business that's suffering. And I'm like, yeah, this is so crazy. Like for me personally, it doesn't affect my life as much as it does for those other people. You know, like there's like a middle class, or there's a certain class of people where, you know, we can make a plan, guys get inverters and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
and
I put one in only
like,
purely.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what grinds my gears.
Yeah.
You see, I'm already getting riled up.
This is the most upset we're gonna see him, so we better enjoy this. No, dude,
it's crazy, and it's like. No, I don't want to get into it.
No, we want to.
But tell us about those shirts. That sounds interesting. What's the deal with the shirts that you're doing and tell the people?
Yeah. So my wife and I, we make these shirts. I mean, I sell them. It's essentially my merch, but like we haven't really approached it as that. Like we want people to really love the shirts and think like, oh, we're not just supporting an artist, like we're buying a good quality shirt. So I worked with my friend who owns a company called Africa Made Only, and they source everything from around Africa. So all the materials are locally sourced, all the cuts and everything are locally made. The embroidery is all locally done. So you know, we're trying to help revive the textile industry in South Africa and the rest of Africa, and give everybody a good quality product that comes from here and that helps the people working support their families, you know. And then loved is the message we've got, you know, just to let people know that they're loved, essentially the same message as you are enough, and I think that's also something that just people want to know that they're loved, like whether it's your father wanting to know that from your father, or your spouse or your husband, or whatever it is. Like, I think it's there's power in knowing that you are loved, and yeah, that's pretty much what this is
Awesome,
about.
man. That's amazing.
Please, if anyone...
Can we check the logo quickly, if you can lift it
Yes.
up a little bit high?
Very nice.
There we go.
If anyone from Eskom...
Oh, he's a model. Oaks, he's a model. Model that shit.
If anyone from Eskom is listening, who's got any kind of sway over the lights, please find where these people are, find where their factories, and keep their power on.
Yeah, dude, that would be flipping amazing.
would-
Wow, you've come up with a solution now,
Yeah.
and it's like,
He's
it's
an
that
ideas
easy,
man.
I'm on ideas, man.
Okay, yeah, guys, don't ask me that question again.
Yeah. Well, your angry is still kind of nice. That's all I'm going to say about your angry.
We were ranting earlier. I mean, I usually just rant about people whose music taste I don't like, and then you are worrying about like small businesses. Like, I feel very ashamed.
I'm only saying because I don't have load shedding, so like that's my closest kind of like thing that I can relate to in my life that really affects me.
Do you have any idea the wave of just hate and vilification that is coming now that people know that you're not being affected by load shedding? That's Majozi.
Majozi is a great guy, but he should be getting
No load shedding.
Why is he different?
Or either that, or you're gonna get a lot of like people requesting to like come over to your place like around
To watch
8 o'clock
movies.
to watch Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Majozi's got power, bro. Let's
And he's watching Kentucky's out there.
yeah. Let's go watch that fashion documentary on Showmax.
Wait, so dude, let's talk to us. You recently got married.
Yeah, man, we got married last year. I want to say May 20th. Flip, I hope that's the date.
Ooh, the internet is forever. Don't get the date wrong, my friend. Let me tell you, your wedding anniversary is something that you only ever forget once.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get a tattoo. It's all good. Yeah, at Mount Nelson here in Cape Town. Yeah, just a beautiful day. Like we kind of did it super quick. We only had a few people. I think there was like 12 people.
Oh wow, okay.
Basically family, to be honest.
Basically
And,
the
yeah, it
antithesis
was a
of a
beautiful day,
Jewish
man.
wedding like mine, where there was 260.
You know, Jed.
Yes, bro. Did you have a Jewish wedding?
No,
Of course, bro. I'm part of the
Bro.
Hebrew persuasion, brother.
can I tell you something? Jed had more people in his retinue than you had at your whole wedding.
Yes. I
Jed,
had
how many
18
groomsmen
I
did you
had
have?
18 groomsmen.
Wow.
Not
that
even
is
a
crazy.
joke. Not
Yeah.
even a
That's
joke.
crazy.
Yeah.
But now, listen, like, yeah, the day was beautiful, and
Yeah,
my
tell us.
bride was beautiful. She was amazing, and I think it was a really good thing. And things have been so much better for us and the families ever since that day. So I'm like super happy. So I recommend it to everybody. Now, that saying, when I saw the pictures and videos of Jed's wedding, I was like, wow, this looks amazing. What is this? A Jewish wedding? No ways. Is this what Jewish weddings are like? And then I actually played a gig at one, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This guy just comes out and he sings these songs that sound like they could be top 20 songs on the European charts or something like that. He comes
Yeah.
out and he just sings these songs. I was like, what is going on right now? Why is it so lit? What part of the wedding this is? I think I came right at the end when after they threw all the stuff.
Did
This
you
guy
do-
was just singing.
Were you after like the first dance that you performed or whatever?
I
What
don't
was-
even know if it was after the first round. It was at the Grand, so like
Okay.
it
So
was
you
quite
would,
a
so
big
did you
affair.
see the Jewish dancing and all the horrors and all of that stuff?
I didn't see that. You see, I missed
Okay.
that. But even my section, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is really, really fun. So I'm saying this to say, please, can I come to some more Jewish weddings?
Please, if you're out there, invite
Please invite Majozi
for the
to
horrors,
next Jewish,
for the Israeli
events.
dancing.
Yes.
He missed out.
Yeah.
But like, this is the
100%.
funny thing when you're coming like from outside a culture. Sometimes you appreciate it much more. Like,
Yes.
people are playing Hava Nagila, and the Jewish people are like, "Oh, not this again." And Majozi's
Yeah, we're like, oh,
he's
Hava
like,
Nagila again.
This one, Eurovision 2024. I can see it.
Dude, it's so funny because at my age now, because they have the horrors, which is the crazy dancing where guys are flinging each other around,
I'm
and
too old for that.
I'm like, I stretch, I warm up in the back there because
You've
getting
brought-
a bit old, the back is getting a bit more susceptible to
You've brought
to
a spare.
injury.
You've brought a spare shirt for the
I bought
sweating.
a spare t-shirt in case I
Or-
sweat too much. I've got something to change
or
into
as-
after the dance.
Or as we would say, schwitzing.
Schwitzing.
You work up a good schwitz.
Oh, dude, it's a lot of fun, man.
It is a lot of fun,
I really,
though, yeah.
really hope I get to experience like a full one and more. I think it's like you said, that's not my culture, so it's super fascinating for me.
But it must have been amazing. I mean, I can totally see how the small, intimate wedding is also beautiful. You know what I mean? Just the family, no distraction, no oaks throwing each other in the air on chairs. And
I mean, to be honest, that's more us, like it would be weird if we were throwing each other on the chair. I was like, I don't know where I would be bummed. I'd be like, I don't trust you guys. Put me down. But that's that's the beauty of life. We have different people, different things that you can appreciate. I can appreciate that people can do those things. Like you can shred. And now I am halfway there. I mean,
You're more than halfway.
Never has the ability to guitar solo with great virtuosity been compared to Israeli dancing at a wedding. But people never know what they're going to find on the Living After Bathtime podcast. And this is the beauty of the show.
It's a mix of things.
So let me get this straight. Have you both done bath time now? Is that like a guaranteed now? It's done.
This is an interesting question, right?
We got
because you're our third guest on the show. We've had a couple of Francois Van Coke and a chef from Canada who I'm friends with on the show. And we actually shot the show after bath time, but the whole time we were saying, spoiler alert, that we were skipping bath time to come do the show. Where you are the first guest where that's been on that we've actually skipped bath time to come do the interview and podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there was like a lot of excitement, I think, with the early episodes. So like when you start filming at like 8-9 o'clock at night, it's like, hey, this is new and exciting. And like now it's like, this is going to be a ball ache if I have to come home at 11 o'clock and there's probably load shedding. So I'm coming home in the dark and no, we'll do something a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So my children may or may not be bathed. I'm willing to take that risk. But kids don't
We like to
smell.
live dangerously, Majozi. We like to live
I
dangerously.
mean, you're brave, Jed. I know your kids went to school today for their first day back at school, so they're extra duty.
Let me tell you something. Today was a fantastic day in my life with my kids going back to school. And we were just talking about this. I love my kids, and being a dad has been the most fulfilling thing. You know what I mean? It's beautiful. I love my kids. But yes.
Now you've got time to learn that song.
That's what exactly. I've got time to learn that crazy riff that dude plays.
All right.
Anything else?
Anything else, or should we let Majozi get back
Dude,
under the
we
covers and
really
rest
appreciate
up?
you being here, and it's
Thank
been
you, guys.
fantastic. And we wish you all the best for whatever endeavors lie ahead. And you're a great musician and friend to us. And,
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I hope your kids and family are well. And give my regards to old Richie Rich there.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe one day he'll be joining the dad squad. Who knows? Maybe one day.
I think it's both in your futures.
Listen, and we'll all crash a wedding together just for like a night out.
And I'm gonna make sure you're at the next Jewish function, whatever it is. I'm inviting you. If it's
Please, bro.
it's part of my crew family, you're coming.
Let's do a
Let me
Shabbos.
come to Shabbat, bro.
Let's do a Shabbat. Let's do a Shabbat
Nah, bro,
in Milnerton, where I grew up at my mom's place. A classic.
No. Sea Point. No.
You need a passport to leave the Atlantic seaboard side.
What about like a nice morning? We go play Kaluki, play some cards with the old ladies at the Sephardi shul or something. Get into it, my friend. Little Kaluki and Barekas.
All right, dude. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you, man. Have a great
Cheers,
day.
man. We want to thank Majozi for being here tonight on the Living After Bathtime podcast. Thanks to my buddies Stan and Rich, and we hope that Stan really enjoys the 10,000 Rand ticket at the Imagine Dragons.
Oh, money
because
well
we know he's
spent,
fine.
Jed.
And we'll see you guys next time on the Living After Bathtime podcast.